A man once traveled across mountains and lakes to find the wisest person alive, to ask him what everything in life was truly worth. The answer he received changed the way he saw everything, including himself. Tell me something. How much time did you spend last week thinking about your finances, your career, your relationships, the problems at work, the goals you are pursuing, the things you still need to acquire or achieve? Now tell me, how much time did you spend last week thinking about your health, not your symptoms? I mean actively, deliberately thinking about the state of the body that carries everything you are and everything you hope to become. For most people, the answer is almost none. Because health is invisible when it is present. We only notice it when it begins to leave us. And by then, as anyone who has sat in a hospital room or watched someone they love lose theirs, the calculation changes completely. Everything else suddenly looks different from that room. Today, I want to tell you a story. And then I want to make you an argument you will not forget. There are things in life that seem to be everything, until you discover the one thing that gives them all their value. There was once a man who had spent his entire life searching for answers. He had built wealth, raised a family, earned respect in his community, and yet something nagged at him, a feeling that he did not truly understand what any of it was worth. He heard of a sage who lived far away, beyond rivers and mountains, and he decided he would make the journey, however long it took, whatever it required. He traveled for many days, crossed lakes by boat, climbed mountain passes in cold he had never experienced, walked through forests where the path disappeared. He arrived tired, humbled, and full of questions. The sage received him without ceremony, sat him down, and waited. The man began. "Tell me, what is money worth?" The sage looked at him calmly and said, "Zero." The man was surprised, but he continued. "And love?" "Zero." "Success? Reputation? Power? Family? Legacy?" "Zero, zero, 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 zero." The man stood up, frustrated. He turned to leave, and just before he reached the door, the sage spoke again. "You forgot to ask the most important question." The man stopped, turned slowly. "What question?" The sage looked at him steadily. "What is your health worth?" The man thought for a moment, then said, "One." The sage nodded. "Place that one in front of all the zeros you mentioned, and now count your wealth again. Remove the one, and 10 billion becomes zero." The man stood in silence for a long time. Then he began the journey home, carrying something lighter than answers and heavier than gold. Understanding. A wealthy man who is seriously ill would give every coin he owns to feel well for one more year. Ask him what his money is worth then, and he will give you the same answer as the sage. Steve Jobs spent the last years of his life fighting a disease that his billions could not cure. He had access to every resource money can buy, and none of it was enough. He reflected that none of it, not a single dollar, not a single award, had the value of one healthy morning, one clear mind, one body that worked without pain. There is an old saying that a healthy person has 1,000 wishes. A sick person has only one. Think about everything weighing on you right now. Your financial worries, your relationship difficulties. Now imagine a doctor walks in with serious news. In that moment, every other problem disappears. 1,000 problems become one, because you suddenly understand clarity. Do not wait for that moment to understand what you already know. Do not let your problems steal your health, because no problem is worth paying for with your life. Most people treat their bodies like a rental car, driving it hard, skipping maintenance, assuming someone else will deal with the damage, until they discover the car was theirs all along. The body keeps its own accounts. It records every night of too little sleep, every decade of too much of the wrong things. It does not send invoices. It simply accumulates the balance. And one day, sometimes gradually, sometimes suddenly, it presents the bill. Nutrition, sleep, and movement are not luxury habits. They are the foundation. They are the foundation. And foundations do not wait until you are ready. The question is never whether you have time. The question is whether you can afford not to. Every choice you make today about your body is a vote for the person you will be at 70. You are not just living today, you are building the life you will inhabit for decades. Stop thinking about health as something you do for today. Start thinking about it as a message you are sending to your future self. The walk you take this morning is a letter to that person. Taking care of your health is not selfishness. It is the most fundamental form of responsibility you have to yourself and to everyone whose life your life touches. Think about the person you want to be at 70. Active, present. That person is not made in a single dramatic decision. They are assembled, quietly, daily, in small choices. Start today. Health is not the absence of illness. It is the presence of life. The energy to pursue what matters, the clarity to think deeply, the strength to show up fully. Go back to the image of the zeros and the one. Today is the youngest you will ever be for the rest of your life, not tomorrow. Right now. Protect the one. Everything else will have somewhere to stand. Today, not next week. Do one thing for the one. One walk, one real meal, one full night of sleep. Just one. And remember what it stands in front of. You did not cross mountains to get here today, but you showed up. That means you are still looking for something worth understanding. Now you have found it. Protect it accordingly. If this story stayed with you, share it with someone you love. I am Salomon. I will see you in the next one. If this spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. I will see you again soon.